Welcome in, everybody. It's 6.1 update show. We've got a massive show for you here today. This is the thickest this packet has ever been. We got tons of stuff to go over. Battle Pass content. We've got more skins than I think I've ever seen before in one update. And of course, Merlin, the Master Wizard reveal, all coming. Merlin, I'll give you a hint right now. It's a little bit later on, but you've got plenty of good stuff to hold you over until then. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait for all of this. We'll start with a little bit of a discussion about SMITE on Switch. So the closed beta again starts Thursday, January 24th. Also my birthday. Speaking of which, happy birthday to F. Two great commentators. Well, one great commentator, one fat egg, all born the same week. I'll let you decide which one is which. You can pre-purchase your ability to get on that SMITE Switch to earn the Foxy Amaterasu plus 200 extra gems. That brings it up to 600 total. And Dragon Empress Scylla. So make sure you guys get your stuff ready to go so you can play SMITE on the go. In fact, we got a little video here for you to preview some of that stuff for SMITE on Switch. Team up, play God. SMITE on Nintendo Switch. For a limited time, unlock the closed beta and exclusive loot with the Founders Pack. I just really hate it when I'm on a rooftop with all my friends and we can't be playing SMITE. Now I don't have to worry about that because we can play it on Nintendo Switch. It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you get involved with that. As I mentioned, we got a ton of 6 skins to go through today. And let's start going through some of those right now with a quick little preview. We'll start with Knight of Mordred Achilles. This skin is going to give me nightmares. And like, not in the way that some of the spooky Opwash and Bakasura skins, like those spectral ones do. This one, like, I'm just going to imagine that I'm in some sort of gladiators arena and I need to fight my way out. And then this dude walks in. I'm like, oh, I'm just dead now. There's nothing I can do. He's looking good with the helmet or without the helmet. That is really awesome. That transform there between the armored stance and the non-armored stance. We'll get a little bit more of a look on that later on. Lady of the Lake Freya as well coming in this update. You've gotten little previews of these in your in-game client, looking at the King Arthur and Merlin section of the UI, but this Freya skin looking awesome. Another homage to the King Arthur lore. We also have Infinite Shift Sun Wukong. God, Wukong has so many cool skins. Why are we going to do this to all these Wukong players? We're like, you can't play all the skins at once. It's just not fair. They're going to have to make a choice somewhere along the line. That is insane. That model is so cool. He's got no body, dude. He's just got a bunch of limbs. Okay, I can't wait to see all those different animal forms for the 72 transformations. I love that skin. Heavy Hitter Anubis, also on the list. You're going to see a lot of stuff about this skin a little bit later on. I'll give you a hint. It's tied in to the Battle Pass. My man's ready to go to work. Look at him. I love it. Another one of those Smite-tropolis-esque skins. This is amazing. And he looks really comfortable. And that's going to be really important for him to perform well on the battlefield. Scarlet Judgment Nemesis. Also coming in the 6.1 update. The bangs free-flowing all the way down to the point where she can't see. It's a good haircut, though. You got to give her credit. Sometimes you just got to let the hair flow. And that's what's happening here for Scarlet Judgment Nemesis. Steamy Chibi Soul. Also coming. Oh, man. I love these Chibi skins. I love it. She's so cute and mad at the same time. Oh, she's got a cute little dress. I love this skin. She's so mad. It's okay, Soul. We'll talk about you more later. Vaporwave Poseidon. You got a preview of this in some of the other 6.1 update shows last week, but we'll go more in depth on it now. The Green Ranger coming to SMITE, at least the voice of the Green Ranger. This skin is dope. Can't wait to hear that voice pack in its entirety. Golden Touch Baron Samdi. Saw this on the preview. This will be tied to your commendation rewards And hopefully I've been nice enough to all of my teammates to the point where I can actually play this skin. I am now regretting I won't say mean, but maybe not so nice things I said to my teammates over the last few days. I kind of wish I would have been nicer and would have made sure I got this skin. Dragon Empress Scylla, you've heard a lot about this. This is, again, attached to that SMITE closed beta on Nintendo Switch. Looking real nice here. Ooh, that white and gold, always a solid combo. Works well for Baron, working well for Scylla. And then Gladiator Guan Yu. An awesome, awesome idea. Another man that if I were to be in a dream scenario, hopefully it's a dream, because if I ever find myself in a battle to the death in any circumstance in real life, I should just F6 right away, because that is not going to work out for me. I can assure you of that right now. Gladiator Guan Yu, again, one of the many skins we have in the 6.1 update. We'll be going over all of those in depth later on in the show, including the voice packs and, of course, all the different animations that they'll have across all their abilities. It's going to be a good one, I can tell. But before that, let's check in with some of the community team. We got someone here from esports, Avrin, and community, Michaela. What's up, guys? How are you today?
I'm doing pretty great. How you doing?
Can't complain. 6.1 update. I get to finally talk about Merlin later.
I know. How exciting.
Literally cannot wait. I haven't been this excited about a god in a long, long time. But we've got a lot of great stuff going on with its 6.1 update. I mean, this is a whole new stuff across the board for a lot of our different SMITE players. Let's talk a little bit about this Titan Forge tournament first that's been going on. If you haven't been watching, 11 a.m. during this week on mixer.com/SMITE game, we've seen some of these, the dev groups come together and battle. How did you guys do today? I didn't get a chance to tune in. Was it?
Are you trying to rub it in?
I truly am not. I didn't watch. And as soon as I asked that question, your face told me I should stop asking that question.
Well, going into the semifinals for tomorrow is going to be gameplay programming and QA. And then the semifinals on Thursday is going to be with design and environment art. Whose fault was it on your team? If I could ask that. I think it was me. Well, okay, well, no one ever says themselves, okay? I want someone that was not you. No, they're my team. No, throw them under the bus. You're already looking for a new roster. You lost this year. I mean, next year's Titan Forge tournament is out there. You can pick up new players. I'm sorry, Christina. Bye. Yeah, that's right. See you later. You're no longer working for us. But maybe you're looking for new players, but everyone at home has their squad that they like to play with, and Party Up Weekend's a good time to do that. Yeah, that's actually going to be happening this weekend, where you can get 2 times the Worshipper's favor in XP when you're playing in a party with your friends. Love that. Always a good time. Get those Worshipper boosters ready, because the grind is on. Winner for this Titan Forge tournament, remember, does get their skin on sale for 200 gems. Yep, that's at the end of the week. You got who do you think is favored in this tournament now? Now that you guys are out and got unlucky that you lost, of course. It was, like you said, just pure luck that we lost. But I think a lot of people are rooting for Design. They have a Kuchu Lane skin that's going to be on sale if they win. Design's been feeling very passionately. They think they're going to do well, but I'm going for QA. Oh, okay. QA, I think, is a sleeper pick. That's for sure. They've been looking pretty good. We saw them yesterday. All right, Avrin, let's talk a little bit about esports. Unfortunately, we did have to make some cancellations this year. We did have to cancel preseason. That would have been happening throughout the month of February. It was a series of, I believe, 4 exhibition matches, just to let the teams kind of get a feel for each other, let our fans get a better sense of what they can expect in the regular season. But unfortunately, due to a handful of issues, we wanted to push that back. We cut preseason just to give them enough time to relocate here, actually get settled in Atlanta, and not have to worry about playing games while they're trying to do that. Yeah, exactly. Moving across the country or to a different country for a lot of these players is a pretty big deal. So making sure they're ready to go and comfortable, definitely the priority. But we still do have a lot of stuff about the SCL for open qualifiers. Yes. So even without preseason, February is going to be really, really busy, especially for people who are kind of trying to get into the pro scene a little bit. So one of the big things we have going on that we just announced last week is the SMITE Console League Open Qualifiers. So starting February 9th, that first weekend, we are going to have our first open bracket tournament. Anyone who is on console, Xbox One, or PS4 can sign up, find a team, hop in and test their mettle and see if they have what it takes to make it through the open bracket. So we'll have 4 weeks of open bracket, and then we're going to have some closed brackets to finish that circuit off. And in the end, we're going to end up with 2 teams qualifying out of each platform in each region. So we'll have 2 NA Xbox, 2 EU Xbox, 2 NA PS4, 2 EU PS4, all that good stuff. And you said anyone?
Anyone.
All right.
Anyone with a console and a team.
Yeah, ready to go on the console side of things. Yeah. Maybe, you know, if you're a player that maybe not so interested in the competitive side of things, but wants to maybe win some gems for all these awesome skins coming up in 6.1, I think we got something for them as well, right?
We do have something for them. So we are currently in the registration period for the NACE SMITE Gem Cup. It is open to all collegiate players in the U.S. So if you're currently a university student, you can find 4 other people at your college, sign up, and hit the battleground for a chance to win some gems. And you guys might actually recognize that from the NACE Championships that we had back at HRX.
That's right. So transfer to UIUC, team up with Meerkat.
Yes.
Beg him to pick Loki and profit.
Yeah.
That's
that's about
formula.
right.
Yeah, that's the game plan. I just laid it out for you. We also have the SMITE Combine coming up.
We do have the SMITE Combine. The Combine is back. People are really excited. So the Combine is basically a proving ground for people who are just a little bit below the minor league level. Great amateur scene, and there are prizing opportunities this year. So we're going to be announcing tournament dates and full details for participation probably tomorrow.
Awesome.
Actually, very soon.
So that'll be SMITE Pro Twitter, I'm guessing?
Yes, always SMITE Pro Twitter.
Always SMITE Pro Twitter. If you aren't following them, what are you doing?
Yeah, for real.
Also, follow at f.ny. It's his birthday today. And
Happy
I'm gonna
birthday.
Send him a dog photo.
Yeah, he wants a dog picture. Trust
Yeah.
me. I asked him. I didn't, but I know him pretty well. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what he wants. Thank you guys so much for joining us here. We're going to throw it over to bug fixes here in a moment. But first, a little bit of a preview on what you can expect for the Battle Pass.
Ooh, too hot for me. Ooh. Too hot for me. No, not SMITE 2.
It was too hot for Tina, but will it be too hot for you? I guess that's the question with that Battle Pass. Finch and Pawn here, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the bug fixes that are going to be coming here in 6.1.
Yep.
And there's actually a lot of stuff in here. I know sometimes people can gloss over this section, but there's a lot of good stuff in here that should improve it. The thing we're starting with first is unlimited skins. I guess first talk a little bit about what those are, and then we can go over how this is being changed.
Yep, so the quick of unlimited skins are these are skins where normally we have an event and at the end there's a limited skin that will never be available again.
Right.
We're trying a new thing where we do an unlimited skin where the skin will be available again, but it will be available for the full gem price of what it would take to unlock an event. So during the event, you can get it by progressing through the event, but then once the event ends, it'll get a gem price cost that is the entirety of the event if you want to get that skin. We just want to give players an opportunity if there's like a skin that you really, really, really wanted, an opportunity to actually get that outright if you want to.
Yeah, maybe you weren't playing at the time or something like that, or you just couldn't get it, but there's essentially supposed to be like a button, and you just you pay that big price all at once, and then you get the skin.
Yes, and the bug was the Merlin skin that is in the event currently going on right now that was mislabeled. It is now properly labeled.
And they'll cost, like you said, the amount of gems that were equivalent to what it would have cost to acquire throughout the event. So basically, it's a way to go back and get those skins if you ended up missing out on them. So glad that's working with the way that we were looking for. Next thing is it looks like there's something here with platform-specific skins. Fixed an issue where skins that can only be playable in certain platforms were not selectable. All these skins should be playable now.
Yep, there's some really cool skins, especially the people who were like early founders for each platform really had. They were not selectable for a bit, and those are back.
And it looks like someone might only be playable on certain platforms, but they'll appear as owned, so just not selectable is the idea with that.
Yeah, that's a lot of the cross-platform stuff that we've been working
on.
We want to make sure that, like, because you own it technically, but then it being selectable, there's different rules around that. So you might see something that you can't actually select, or it might disappear on one platform but appear on another, and that's why.
All right, now all those people who have friends out there and lots of people to play SMITE with, this next one might be important for you, but probably won't impact me too much. Looks like there were a couple of, I guess, maybe some issues, maybe things that were just parts of the pains with the changeover with UI that should be a little bit more clarified here.
Yep, so one is that you couldn't report players from the recently played area of that menu.
Right.
That has now been fixed, so if someone was being a jerk, report them.
Good, and you should.
Yes. The second is that if you had a really, really big friends list, you could actually like kind of lock up the game.
Good for you guys, I guess. You had that issue.
I have this.
Brag about it. Right, I'm sure you did.
But yes, that is fixed. And additionally, we now actually have a timer in that will show you how long your friends have been in match. If you're trying to be like, well, I want to find a friend to play with. Someone's currently in Conquest. If they're at 5 minutes or if they're at 35 minutes, a very different thing of whether you're going to wait or not.
So now you should be able to tell about how long they've been in their match. That's a big one to have these updated. So like I said, some heavy hitters in here. Then it looks like there's something with Blight Guardian Athena updated the audio for this skin to make the ultimate sound effects easier to hear. All right, that's a big one. You definitely want to be able to hear if Athena's ulting.
Yeah, if she's going to dunk on you and deal a whole bunch of damage, you got to know that. And similarly with Glacial Gaze Medusa, that was also a similar issue where it wasn't visually clear. It wasn't audibly clear, so that's been updated.
So some changes here to make it just, more clear what's going on with some of these gods on their skins specifically. And then with console, looks like there's an issue where friends list would show error text instead of friends as actual gamer tag. So that one has also been resolved, it sounds like. Good.
Fixing all the things.
A lot to go in and clean up, it sounds here, but looks like y'all did a good job on it, so the experience should be a little bit nicer. I think that's just about it, at least for the bug fixes on this side here. Pawn, anything I missed out on? Or?
No, I think that is about it. We will be back in a little bit because we have a few balance things that we're going to be doing, but first we have other things to talk about.
That's exactly right. So we'll be back here a little bit later on to go over some more balance-related stuff. This was more like bug fixes, getting things where they're supposed to be. We're going to be getting it back over, though, I believe, to Aggro here to talk a little bit more about the Battle Pass.
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody. That's right. It's Battle Pass time. We're going to be going over that in just a moment, but it's too hot for us, I guess. I just want to know what Anubis did to make that Wukong so upset. I mean, he doesn't even have a body. Like, what could he possibly? He couldn't have made like a weight comment, right? Because he doesn't have a body. That's what I'm
correct.
thinking. Anyways, I've got Tina, and I've got someone who looks suspiciously like Ajax, but also suspiciously not like Ajax.
His name's Goobus.
Still in my tournament persona from today.
Yeah.
My try-hard mode.
Yes, exactly. I hear that you guys did exceptionally well.
If you want to see how to play a gold level Odin, go ahead and watch that back. I'll show you how it's done.
Yeah, that is flawless gold level participation by me. Who do you guys play up against on Thursday?
The environment team.
You feeling good about that matchup?
It's a tough matchup. They play together a lot. Their jungler is very skilled, but
Wilson's
so is
really
Pon. So
so is Pon.
It should be a good match.
Yeah.
And then QA is like the favorite coming out of the top.
QA
side.
and programming will be that'll be a tough match for sure tomorrow, and then we'll be facing either one of those. They'll both be tough matchups.
Yeah, Chaos played Baka and Pub Stomp.
Yeah, I think QA is a little more consistent, and Chaos is just an absolute hyper carry.
Yes, Chaos was popping off, that's for sure. All right, let's get into something to talk about this Battle Pass. So we're going to this Battle Pass structure for Season 6. A lot like Battle Passes you've seen, like, say, in Paladins, you'll have two different tracks. You'll have one that is free and one that is the premium side.
Correct.
What can players expect from the free half of the Battle Pass?
From the free half of the Battle Pass, they can expect things like we've got Favor, and there's an announcer pack they can get, and there's
a lot of Favor and winner's chest, triumphant chest, things like that. There's a lot of different rewards you can get from the free side.
Cool.
And most important thing is, of course, is as you're leveling it up, you can move to the premium side anytime you want. And you'll get all the rewards you previously unlocked. You don't have to start over again. So you can see like, oh, I'm not sure really how far I'm going to make it this split. You start playing it. You see you're getting pretty far. You can buy into it then, get everything, and catch up real quickly.
Gotcha. Correct. And of course, you earn your Battle Pass points just by playing any regular game mode, normal or ranked, will get you points.
Not co-op.
Right.
Okay. So you can't be grinding against the bots for your Battle Pass.
You'll get battle points from playing. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Playing it all.
Nice and easy for you there. And as AJ mentioned, if you have been playing a good amount and you end up saying, oh, well, just if I go on the other side, get the premium side, I get all this sort of stuff, then it's probably worth it for me. You'll get all that. You don't have to restart. or anything like that. So let's talk about what will be in the Battle Pass in general. So
a lot of stuff.
We saw a lot of the skins in that little video there. What else can we expect in there?
Here we've got a list here.
Okay, let's run them off.
Steamy
shall we?
Chibi Soul, Squeaky Squeak Announcer Pack, Hot One Title, Flames Recall, Yummy Jump Stamp, Heavy Hitter Avatar, Smitetropolis Pedestal, Smitetropolis Loading Frame, Legend Title, Infinite Shift Sun Wukong, Scarlet Judgment Nemesis, Heavy Hitter Numis. I think that's everything. Just of the individual cosmetics. And that Legend Title, that's for later in the year.
Yeah, so you have to,
If you get all the battle passes,
if you
that's
own
how you
all
get
the
the
battle
Legend.
passes, you get the Legend
for the whole
title
year. So that'll
for
be
the
hard.
whole
But yeah,
year.
it's a bunch of stuff. It's 4 skins.
It is.
Okay.
So battle passes are going to be about every 2 months. Is that right, Tina?
Yes, every 8 weeks. Correct.
So that's how often you'll be able to get that. You know, in season ticket, you're playing one. If you're playing just playing, you get 1 skin.
Right.
In
Yeah.
3 months.
Yeah.
Now you're going to get 4 and 2.
Correct.
That sounds like a good deal.
Also, when you buy into the Battle Pass, you'll also get account boosters that will help you towards your Battle Pass account. Not a team booster, but one that's towards your account that'll help speed up the process, as well as quests that will give you additional Battle Pass points, so you can complete the Battle Pass much quicker as well.
Right. So not only will you be moving up the premium track, you'll also be going faster.
Gotcha. So does it work like a booster does in the lobby, or is it just always on for your account?
The one
at that
that's
point?
permanent is the one that is on your Battle Pass account is always on.
So
we
you
have
need to
2
remember
types
that.
of booster
There's
for
2
battle.
types.
Oh, okay.
The account booster, so it'll just apply all the time, and there will also be team boosters. You can pop in a lobby to get extra points for that match for your whole team.
Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
I can definitely mess with that.
And these are some awesome skins in this pass.
Oh, I know.
The Wukong is a completely new theme, trying something very different. We know that community's been asking for that, so we've been talking with our concept art team, and Mark, who's going to be on the show later, helped come up with this design. And it's really interesting, unique kind of celestial beings with a lot of negative space and very interesting body anatomy.
Yeah.
And then these really cool, bright, prismatic color palettes.
Dude.
And we're really stoked about it.
You're saying all the right words to me right now.
Yeah.
Prismatic color palettes. I'm in.
You can see his heart. It's crazy.
Immediately. And hopefully that heart is like protected a little bit.
No.
Right? Oh,
You can just see it, straight up see it.
that's spooky. At least if I were.
It's symbolic
the
in
Wukong.
many ways.
That's
Yes.
right.
How does that speak about your life, Aggro?
Scary. I don't know. I don't like it. Yeah. Well, let's move on. Triumphant chest.
I feel like
is what's-
with a fake mustache, I should not be asking you those questions.
That's right. That's right. That feel good? Oh, AJ, what's up, man?
Did you rip it off, AJ?
Welcome on.
I've had many serious meetings today between the tournament and right now where I did not take it off.
I like that. I like that we're able to
Dedication,
to pull it off.
dude.
So triumphant chests, we want to talk a little bit about that. Triumphant chests exist to reward players each week for coming to Smite and playing. The Battle Pass system itself is kind of taking over that role and largely made this system a little bit redundant. So
Right.
players can still earn triumphant chests, but their unlock method has been rolled into the Battle Pass.
Right. So you would play games, you win games, you unlock the chests. And it's the same thing now. You play games, you win games, you unlock battle points, which as you go through the levels, most of the free levels include those chests. So
Right.
we had that symbol had a complicated piece of UI that had to be interactable to buy things, unlock things. It was confusing a lot of people. Same thing. You're still going to get those chests just for playing Smite. They're just in a more easy to understand place now.
I don't have to worry about my chest slots getting locked and then I'm
Right.
not,
No more of
getting
that.
those. Okay, cool.
Yep.
I
Just
can-
play and work on your battle pass.
Nice, very nice. As well as the season ticket, a little bit of a change there with the introduction of the Battle Pass. Season ticket will be retired, F in the chat. While it was a major part of each season, it excluded new and returning players that came into the season late. Anything associated with the season ticket has been removed or has been converted into items that work with the new Battle Pass system. So this is kind of the change up where we're kind of adapting the old season ticket into what is now the Battle Pass.
Right. The season ticket was an amazing system. And
Yes.
it's something that you didn't really see in a lot of games at the time that it was invented here at Hi-Rez and on Smite. One of the issues we've seen with it throughout the years is that it's an entire year-long progression arc, which is if you were going to play any game, an RPG or an MMO, and someone's like, oh, it's only going to take you a year to unlock this. That's how much we expect it to take. They would think that you're completely insane.
Right.
I don't even know if I'm going to own this computer in a year or
Right.
this Xbox in a year. I'm going to move to Europe by then. But now we're going to be doing things in a more real, easily
Quicker
understandable
manner. Yeah.
duration.
More quick rewards, basically.
Right. So if you
Correct.
show up late, you don't have to worry about it. You'll be able to get in on the next Battle Pass, or Battle Pass progression will be a little faster, so you'll be able to get in on that one and hopefully be able to catch up pretty quickly. And you'll have be able to manage your time a lot better and earn a lot more items through it.
Awesome. Also, all of your FP boosters that you currently have, those will be transferred into BP boosters, battle points boosters at 6.1, and no such thing as FP anymore. So you got to work on that BP this time around. We also will have shorter ranked splits this season. They will be synced with the battle passes.
Correct.
So a little bit easier to understand when those will be beginning and ending.
Yeah, similar thing. We saw a lot of people play ranked, and then it gets towards the end of the split, and it's a long time before it restarts. We get a little bit of people not so interested in playing the ranked mode for a little while. So we want to have more resets more often, and those are tied to new rewards. You'll be able to see all that in game and in the patch notes in more detail. So just speeding up the loops here so that we've got a little bit more fun at a more reasonable pace.
We want it. We want our BP, and we want it now.
Correct.
That's basically what we're saying. You'll be able to get it. A lot of those skins coming from the battle pass as well. Thank you guys very much for joining us. We're getting closer to Merlin, but first we got some balance to go over with Finch and Pon.
Thanks, Aggro. And you're right, we want to hear more about Merlin, but we got some changes coming in 6.1 that we need to go over as well. So again, Pon joining me, Finch here, and we'll talk a little bit about Merlin later on. There's some changes here that are actually, fairly interesting, I would say, in these update notes. This first one is towards about kind of like the beginning of the game mission and then affects minions throughout. It says minions now spawn after 1 minute into the game, and then rather than at 1:30, and players have increased movement speed during the time when they're leaving the fountain. That's kind of the precursor for this.
Yeah, so we talked about this a little bit, but these are the actual timings. These are correct timings. I think we had it incorrect on the patch note show itself. These are the correct timings. Basically, we want the game to start a bit faster, and we also want you to be able to get to your lanes, your positions a bit quicker to match that reduced time. So
and obviously, and it gives a little bit of flexibility in your start too.
Yeah.
If you kind of want to get out there and ward a little bit or something like that, you got that extra movement speed to help out. Also, some changes to the brute minions, the way they spawned in there. It looked like they could be kind of a little bit inconsistent or confusing, so this has been changed.
Yeah, so the way it worked, I'm not even sure if I'm going to explain it correctly, is it would spawn every third wave unless it was changing to a point where it would spawn more brute waves, and it would spawn every second one and then start to going every third.
Right.
And one, it's confusing. You could, if you wanted to learn it, you could learn the pattern of how it spawned, but it was confusing. It wasn't necessarily intuitive. And if you ever got lost, if you missed a wave and you didn't see the stats of it, you would actually have a problem as to what wave you're on. But that would also mean that your ability to take the Oni Fury buffs waves, and if your wave is all brutes versus if your wave is not brutes, it's very different.
Yes, in pushing power, I imagine.
Especially when you're throwing percentage increases to their damage, their health pools, their protections. The difference was massive, and so one thing we wanted to do was simplify the wave rules so that it's much more intuitive and understandable. We wanted to make sure that when you get the Oni Fury, its power level is consistent. We've also made adjustments from internal playtests about how strong it is now, considering that you're going to have consistent brutes in each wave.
Right.
But basically, the way it works is now at the start of the game, it'll always be 3 melees. At 10 minutes, it'll become 1 brute and 2 melees. At 20, it'll become 2 brutes and 1 melee. And at 30 minutes, it'll become 3 brutes and no melees.
Pretty serious.
Which is pretty intense. And this also does an additional goal of at the end of the wave when you want, or at the end of the game when you want to really push down. If you get a melee group, it's really easy for the enemy team to stop your push. But if there's 3 brutes, they have to invest more to actually kill them. And so teams at 30 minutes plus can actually use minions more effectively to push into the base.
And I think this really does kind of clarify just how important that Oni Fury is going to be, right? Because if you've got those 3 brutes and they're buffed as well, it can be very difficult to deal with. And as you mentioned, the Oni Fury has kind of been adjusted in intensity to go along with that here. So it looks like on the next round of minions spawn, all minions in all 3 lanes, that's what the Oni Fury does. The bonus damage, instead of 150, it's 75%. So it must have been way too strong. That's come down quite a bit.
Well, yeah, because we were playing, it's like, oh yeah, these feel relatively fair. And then we had one test where we had a 3 brute wave spawn. It got buffed, and we had a team fight over in Fire Giant, and the other lane just literally everything got wiped. So that was a bit too intense, especially now if we're going to make it so that you're consistently getting these brutes. It was too intense. So we've toned that down. They can definitely take towers on their own if you do leave them alone, but we don't want them to take the entire lane.
And that's good. There should be, a premium on once you get that, you have to decide, who do we send over there and how you balance the rest of the map. So it's good that works. It looks like they are getting a little bit bonus health as well, changed from 50% to 30%. But Pon, that is not the only thing that's getting some changes here, it would look like to me. The Fire Giant is also getting some adjustments happening on that side as well. What kind of spawned this one? Was this just kind of seeing maybe that it wasn't enough, that you had to go in and adjust it some? How'd this come about?
That's largely it, is we have a new attack chain. We're trying to fine-tune how difficult it is to kill the Fire Giant, and in relation to that attack chain.
Right.
Player power curves as they get adjusted through balance changes also matters. And we just found the Fire Giant was a bit too easy to kill, especially once when it was like, after it spawned for about 8 to 9 minutes, around that mark, you could kill it really easily. And then when enhanced, it wasn't getting tanky enough. And so we did some adjustments to the enhanced Fire Giant. We're also doing some now adjustments to the base version of it, and then amplifying the enhanced even a little bit more. So overall, Fire Giant could be a little bit harder to take. And
this also is in connection with the Mayan Gold Fury, I suppose, right?
Yes.
Because you'll do more damage to them when you have those stacks as well. So it has to be stronger because you're stronger in some cases as well.
Yes.
So we can kind of go through some of these. The Fire Giant base health increased from 6,000 to 7,000. Health per level increased from 225 to 275. Base protections from 90/50 to 110/70. And then, as you said, the enhanced Fire Giant also has been bumped up quite a bit. It goes all the way up to 8,000 health, 275 health per level, and 125/85 protections.
Yes.
It's quite a bit.
Yep, it's going to be tanky.
It's going to be good. It's going to be tough trying to take this Fire Giant now, but hey, that's probably a good thing, right? You got to really fight over it.
Get the Primal Fury.
That's right. You go get it. It should be a little bit easier to shred through it now at this point. So Fire Giant, get a little bit of loving as well. Should be tougher for you to get over there. And then there's one more note here. It's kind of tucked in at the bottom, but it's interesting to me. Ratatosker has been changed, so now he may sell his acorn. This is interesting to me. We were talking about it, and probably you don't want to, but I mean, I guess you can't. Right?
Yeah, so this came out of the Speed Elixir where players were like, oh man, that's really cool, but what about Ratatosker where he has an acorn, he doesn't have boots? So basically we've changed it so now the acorn doesn't stack with the movement speed from Elixir, and you can buy Elixir and sell your acorn if you want a different 6th item. I will note, for players who play Ratatosker, the power it provides and the passive it provides is pretty good.
Yeah.
If you want to replace it, you can. It's up to you, but I would suggest that it's pretty good already, unless you're like super late game and you can find like you really actually don't need the survivability, you just need more power maybe, but you can do it now.
There's some options there for Ratatoskers to maybe switch up the build a little bit. I'm very excited for how this Speed Elixir is going to work and how it's going to interact with these late game builds. So thanks for taking me through some of these balance changes. I know you all have been wanting to see Merlin. He'll be in just a little bit later. We're going to the skins next. Let's get it back over to Aggro and the rest of the couch to go over some of the skins.
Appreciate you jumping on that grenade for me, Finch. I was going to be the one to tell them they have to wait a little bit longer for Merlin and that we had skins next, but you did it for me. So, hey, everyone, it's the segment you weren't expecting. It's skins. I've got Tina, I've got Mark, and I've got Chris, a good gang here to talk us through it. Guys, we've got maybe more skins in this particular patch than any I've seen. We've got a lot to go through.
It's
a
lot. We do have a lot to go through.
It's going to be good. Yeah, but they're all good ones. So at least we got that going for us. We'll start with... Knight, is it really 10?
It's 10.
Wow, we're in double digits. Okay. Number 1, Knight of Mordred Achilles. This one, it kind of involved with this Arthurian lore. He looks like a bad dude.
Yeah, pretty spooky.
Like a bad dude or a badass dude?
Yes.
Both.
It is both.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely both. It says here that he was originally meant to be a good guy paladin, but instead we thought of tying him into the Arthurian lore and exploring what a knight who pledged to Mordred might look like.
Exactly.
He does not look like a good guy anymore.
No.
He's a fancy looking bad guy.
Judge a book by its cover?
Yeah.
Fancy
a little bit,
looking bad guy.
Look, man, Chris, I'm sorry. If that dude comes up to me and is like, yo, you want this free coffee? I'm like,
yes.
No. No, absolutely not.
He's so handsome.
Sure,
he's like a very pretty bad guy, dude.
There's probably some poison in that coffee.
Well,
that's fair. And then he shoves it down your throat.
Yeah, exactly.
I would be more scared of him shoving it down my throat than him offering coffee to me. Anyway.
I don't think I have a choice in the matter. You do have a choice, though, on if you want to play with the armor on or off. And this is one that is going to be really, really cool because it's very apparent which stance he's in, the offensive or the defensive stance. And I got to say, that looks uncomfortably like Anatoly.
Really? I mean, he's not wearing the loafers and he's not wearing
That's
the
true.
gold
No
chain
PJ pants, no mismatching into the AM clothing. There's no watch.
He doesn't look like a freaking galaxy, so.
But he's got the beard.
He does. I mean, that's probably the only thing that makes him look like Anatoly.
Listen, man, first of all, I've seen Toly wear things that are dangerously close to this outfit.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah,
right. Totally just looks like a mafia gangster to me.
Sometimes, yeah. I love these little effects though.
It's looking cool.
Dark and smoky nature of this. Chris, this is very different than a lot of the other visual effects that we've seen with Achilles so far.
Yes.
Yeah, it just kind of complements the look of the character itself. I think this really fits his character in this particular sense. So it's it looks very good.
Yeah, he looks awesome. And talk to me a little bit about this concept in general, Mark, that you wanted to make this Knight of Mordred for Achilles.
Right, yeah. Well, Kiana did this, another concept artist, and I remember us going back and forth being like, all right, we want to make Achilles, and we're like, well, he's always like this golden boy, right? And we wanted to explore what Mordred might look like, or a knight who's tied to Mordred might look like. And so we added a bunch of dragon shapes, and we went along with the animation that was done before this skin to just kind of explore the world even more.
Love it. He looks really awesome. Again, with the helmet on this time around. Everything just feels so mean all the time. Let's take a listen to his voice pack. Let's see how mean he sounds.
Most remarkable.
It sounds mean.
I am the right hand of Mordred. Attack middle lane. Gank. I am the right hand of Mordred. You will bow before the true King Mordred. You shall die. My command is absolute. Two men walk into a tavern. That's because they use ale to escape the sad reality of serfdom.
Damn.
Wow.
That's real.
That was very real. That was very real there. But definitely sounding the part of what he looks. That is Knight of Mordred Achilles, again, part of the new Arthur event here in Smite. We also have Lady of the Lake Freya. Same sort of idea. The Lady of the Lake is a mythological figure that doesn't have a whole lot of this is what she looks like. Right. So
she's usually a puddle.
Yeah, she's usually a puddle.
Yeah.
She's looking a little bit more solidified this time around.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about this direction, Mark.
So we really wanted to make sure, Sven did this first of all, and we wanted to make sure her clothes looked around that period, so medieval, but also elevated a bit and a bit fantastical. And he tied in the sword to kind of mimic the Excalibur that Arthur wields, but it's a little more feminine, a little more sleek, so it looks better on Freya.
Yeah, you can't be having someone else have Excalibur.
Right.
There's only one of those.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Freya's sword, usually pretty good. Ooh, some little water effects.
Little
there.
splashy boys.
Oh, I don't know what I was expecting. Of course she's gonna shoot the splashy boys.
Yeah.
She's the Lady of the Lake.
Dude, her feetsies are water.
Yeah.
Like her feet, like if you zoom into her feetsies,
are they really water?
Water, yeah.
No way.
Yo, yeah,
Oh man, she is.
Wow. So she's kind of half puddle.
Yeah,
she's
exactly. A little bit. She's
Had
like
to stay lore accurate.
Puddle.
How you think she's friends with the old Hebo? You know?
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, dude.
He's got the same sort of idea going on there. That's really awesome. I love the little splash out.
Dude, they can go on a date together.
Animation. You know, I was gonna say Hebo's probably a little bit too old for her, but
I know, but I want to see them have Eurasian babies.
Oh,
okay.
My God.
Thank you for that, Tina.
Can I go?
Tina, we've got 10 skins. You can't be doing this on
Okay,
skin number 2.
Not yet.
Dude, look at that water cape.
Yeah, dude. Water cape.
Is really awesome. Though that instead of the wings that she normally gets, this is a little bit of a different feel. She takes to the sky with a watery cape. Are these sorts of water effects more difficult than other effects, Chris, or is it fairly simple for the experts?
No, for sure. It's difficult to convey that sort of like motion of water while still having it like maintain its shape as an effect and make sense to visually to the player.
Right.
But I think the effects artist here, Andrew, he did a great job on this. Actually good.
Yeah, that is really awesome. Let's take a listen to the voice back here for Lady of the Lake Freya.
Enchanting. Attack. Attack right lane. Gank. You are worthy. I am eternal. We. So you wish to be king? Then you have much to learn. Even if you had a weapon as magical as this, would you know what to do with it? Yes, there are many stories about me, but very few of them are true. Well, I happen to think my experience perfectly qualifies me to choose leaders.
Leaders.
There she is, the Lady of the Lake. Again, part of the new King Arthur event here in Smite. Indeed. Feels very sarcastic to me. I'm gonna miss something. I'm gonna hear that and be like, little. Why I oughta.
Sounds like a dying horse.
A little bit. I can't believe this is next because I was like, oh man, I'm going to wait so long. But no, we get to see Infinite Shift Sun Wukong next up on the list.
It's your skin.
I know, right? I know.
So wait, Mark, you're the genius behind this.
I did that. Yeah.
That is awesome. So talk to me all about it. I want to hear about it.
So the story behind it is a while back we were tasked with coming up with new themes, and we started looking across a bunch of different games, and all of them kind of do the same thing. It's always sci-fi, fantasy, mech. There's cutesy, chibi. It's all over the place. So you have to look in weird places to come up with new stuff. So I started looking at psychedelic art and just a bunch of trippy stuff, and trying to figure out how to make it work in Smite. And what excited us most about it was actually using negative space within the rig, because usually when we make a character, we're adding different types of armor. We're always building on top of a character,
right?
But I wanted to see what we could do if we dug out in a character, so yeah, this is what happened.
Awesome. And I'm sure, is this better for the rigging artists? Were they like, we love you for this, or is this even harder?
I heard there wasn't that much conflict with animation and rigging.
Oh, nice. So that's what we like to see.
Yeah.
The really celestial.
Dude, those effects are dope.
The chromatic aberration looks really good.
That is so cool.
Oh my god.
That's cool. This is the first time I've seen it.
Yeah.
That looks awesome.
Whoa.
Oh,
that
look at
looks good too.
The bull form, a little twinge of green on the feet there to help you differentiate as well.
What is that material? Is this supposed to be like pearl? It looks kind of like a pearl.
It's like a pearlescent aberration looking thing.
That is awesome. Trippy. Everything's see-through in the skin.
Yeah.
Man,
really
that
cool
is
too.
so cool.
Yeah.
And are those like are those stars or constellations or something built in there? Or is that just
no?
random
I actually
pattern?
wanted to make sure they weren't stars and constellations because I didn't want them to tie back to cosmic skins. So
Sure.
I studied a bunch of like sacred geometry and stuff when coming up with this skin. And so if we ever zoom into it, you can see it, but it's actually patterns and circles and stuff like that.
He's doing it.
Oh yeah.
That is so cool.
Do it.
I'm so about this right now.
Woo!
Some sacred geometry.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Coming at you.
Coast.
Dude, that is so cool.
Good.
Yeah.
I won't even be mad when I'm getting chased down by this thing anymore. It'll look too cool.
He's got a cool VXG too.
Ooh, a VXG.
Ooh.
That's what I like to hear.
Totally forgot about that.
Well, we gotta look at the sacred geometry for
the tiger.
for all
For
these
all
animals.
animals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right.
So you can see it floating through his skin and stuff.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Dude, he got balls around his neck too.
I think he's always
Third
had
skin.
those.
The third animal here, as we were totally talking about, nothing else about the tiger whatsoever.
Oh my god, he does too.
He's got a necklace, Tina. Yes, a necklace. That's the way I would describe it. He's wearing the same necklace right there. Okay, let's take a look at the VXG.
No, what about the ult?
Oh, right, the ult. Yeah, we gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Mastery over all.
Oh, that is so cool.
Whoa, dude.
He looks very enlightened.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks
like
amazing.
he's just hit Nirvana, dude.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, I have finally figured out the answer to that math problem I've been
That's
working
sick.
on.
Did you see that?
That's cool.
It's as the kids say, dope.
That is very dope. I will agree with that. That looks awesome. The glass
the
breaking
glass.
look kind of effect there. That is awesome. The somersault cloud. And then
Whoa!
there he is
VXG.
reaching his peak performance. That is awesome. It's cool.
What is he? Is he flipping the bird to us? What is he doing?
No, he's doing
he's meditating.
the meditating.
He's centering himself.
I
Yeah.
thought he's like,
Yeah, none of that. Like, you don't got to worry about that. He's good to go right there on the VXG.
great.
That is really
So cool.
amazing. Let's take a listen to the voice pack here for Infinite Shift Sun Wukong.
Attack middle lane. Gank. Woohoo! Fantastic. It has been my privilege. Failure is the first step to mastery. In your case, you seem to just be the master of failure.
Ooh, I love it.
I will break you down and scatter your dust into the wind.
It's violent.
I like it.
Is that My heart just floating there. I feel so exposed. You have much to learn. Just so much. So much.
That is awesome. This is a guy who's got it all figured out. You know, that's the impression that I'm getting. He knows what's going on.
Yeah, dude.
That is amazing. And that is his heart just floating there, right in the middle. And there's great detail on that as well, as Pon showed us right at the beginning of the skin. Congratulations, Mark. I now want all 100 gods to have a skin like this.
All right.
So here we go.
Here we go. Your challenge.
Let's get it popping. Amazing work. Cool. Next up, heavy hitter Anubis. This as well tied into the battle pass, as is Infinite Shift Sun Wukong. This part of the Smite Tropolis sort of theme that Enna was the creator of, one that is very, very popular, and you can definitely see why, because they are cute and cool.
Yeah.
All the same
Whoa.
time. What's up, dude?
That's a really close up.
That is like how I wake up every day with my dog right in front of my face. Hello, I'm so happy you're awake. That's what you get every day. Anubis, dude, I would rock that hoodie for sure.
I know, right? That hoodie is pretty dope.
Yeah,
and he looks very comfortable. Can I say that?
Yeah, he does. He's got his joggers on. He's got his like little foot wraps. He's got his little arm wraps. He's got a little hoodie. Dude, he's listening to whatever music, I don't know.
Wait, he still has the wire? Where are the AirPods?
In his ears?
No, he needs the you know what I mean? If he's gonna have all the okay. No.
I see what you're saying. He's probably not using a phone though. He's probably old school and using like
you know what, you're right. He's like he's hanging out with Geeky Beaky Doth. Like he's a little bit more hipster about
yeah, exactly. Whoa!
That is so cool. I was so not ready for that.
Me neither. Dude, he's like punching the air and shit.
Dude, that is awesome. I love that. Holy, that is so cool. All right, let's see the wrap. He's got a couple wraps on him, but this puts more on you.
Are those just like sweat?
The mummify? That's what it looks like to me.
Sweat cloths?
Whoa. Dude, that animation is so cool that he does. Usually it's just a simple little hand raise, right?
That is hilarious.
That's so extra.
It's so extra.
That is so cool. All right, let's see the ultimate. Holy. Yo, this man, how does he ever lose a match? I'll tell you what.
Oh, man.
That is really awesome. This skin, I was like, oh, Boxer Anubis. Like, that's cool, and I have no idea what he's going to do, but I'm down to check it out. So much cooler than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, you can see his little hands, like, on the side of him when he ults. Like, his little hand flashes.
Where?
Look up
he's doing this, like, really fast, dude.
That is awesome.
He's so fast that you can't see, you know.
Yo, is like Mercury gonna be mad that this Anubis might be like a little bit faster? Like, I mean, he's kind of doing Mercury stuff here. Punching so fast that you can't like see
it. Might
it.
just have to duke it out.
Yeah, exactly. That'll make him mad. No, Mercury, the only god in the game with 381 movement speed. Now this Anubis skin 382. You heard it here first. Pay to win. I'm kidding. Let's take a look at, or take a listen rather, to the voice pack here for heavy hitter Anubis.
Yeah! I dig it.
Ooh.
Alright. Attack! Gank! I'll give you a chance to back down, kid. Yo, what's your deal? You're gonna regret this. What music do mummies listen to? Rap! My favorite workout song?
Oh, okay.
It's gotta be Eye of the Jackal. Your mama is so ugly, she turned Medusa into stone.
What's up? Everything short, sweet, and to the point. It's the jab of voice packs, right? You know? Thank you, Chris. You're on the same wavelength as me.
You don't have to laugh, Chris.
This is awesome. Again, heavy hitter Anubis as part of the Battle Pass coming to you in 6.1. We also have Dragon Empress Scylla.
Yeah.
This is the skin that you can get by getting involved with a Switch closed beta. A skin, we also have the Scylla skin that you can get elsewhere, but not in this beautiful white and gold color.
Right.
Kind of matching the Nox skin that we did recently, right?
Yeah, I think that was the intention. Vivian Costi did both of those skins and this recolor, so it was just appropriate to fit them in the same world.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. Looking even more regal this time around with Dragon Empress Scylla. Again, this is, you should recognize a lot of the look, though, from things that we have done in the past. But you haven't seen it, you've been missing out. Her dragons are also white and gold, though. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, they can be anything.
I could definitely mess with that. White and gold, a classic color combo.
It looks great.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Nice.
That is awesome. Again, you get this by getting involved with the Nintendo Switch closed
The Founders
beta.
Pack.
In the Founders Pack there, that's right. Still have those beautiful auto attacks. Very similar to that of the Dragon Nox. They're part of the same kingdom. is
They
what I'm
are.
told here.
Yes.
Are they friends, Tina?
Maybe. Maybe.
You don't have to come up with that on the spot.
It seems like, maybe they're friends right now, but there's some underlying tension there.
Yes.
That's what I'm picking up on. Okay.
Yes.
I can mess with that.
Because they could be sisters, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's the Dragon Queen Nox, right? And
No,
then-
Dragon Priestess.
Oh, Priestess, that's right. And she's the Empress. So
Yes,
maybe they
she
have
is no, well, they're both queens. So maybe they're like, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. You have to wait
If
and
I have
find
to
out.
write another one, then we'll see.
We'll figure it out then.
Then we will figure it out.
Yeah, then we'll figure out the lore.
That's right. Do we have the voice pack ready here as well for Dragon Empress Scylla?
It's the same as...
Same as the other one. Well,
The other one.
we can take a quick listen to it in
Yeah.
case people aren't familiar with it.
Brilliant! I'm a real Draco. I'm a real Draco.
And I believe...
Back off, stranger. We aren't here to play.
Sorry for cutting you off there, Pon. I believe this skin has a VXG as well, if I remember correctly. But I believe it's a standstill one. Yeah, she gets her throne there to
So
sit
cool.
on. I often sit on my opponent's tower line and do this and then get ganked and killed. But I look really, really cool while I'm doing it. And that's what's really
It's
important to me.
really,
It is.
really
At the very least. Okay, next up, Gladiator Guan Yu.
Yeah.
This is your Season 5 ranked reward. So if you've gotten at least 75 ranked wins in Season 5, you will receive this skin, and you will now look more badass every time you play Guan Yu from here on out. This one also spooks me a little bit in like a,
Oh, yeah?
Really?
this guy's going to kill me sort of way.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah, he's intense.
He is
For
pretty
sure.
intense. He's pretty swole.
Yeah, that is, that's a big boy
And he's a big boy.
right there,
That's
to say
a
the least.
big
And that
boy.
spear, man, I mean, that thing means serious business.
Yeah.
It's a spear that has tusks.
Kind of looks like his horse with tusks.
I think
Yeah,
his horse probably has tusks.
Yeah, I want to
in
see his
this one.
horse, bro.
Yeah.
Well, we will. That's
Okay.
that's the
Yeah, yeah,
ultimate.
yeah, yeah.
Patience, man.
Patience. Patience there. Where we'll get the horse.
Yeah, I
Just a
believe
little
Andy
bit.
Tim worked on this, and I just love how different it is from other Guan skins in that he took the robes off. He's not, long and flowy anymore. He's
Right.
just in your
I
face.
really like that. I can see his thighs.
Yeah, most of the time, Guan Yu feels like the war general. He's in control of the situation. This
Right.
dude just wants to murder you.
Yeah.
Like there is no confusion
No,
as to
I'm
what's
just
going
gonna
on.
kill you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. All right, let's take a look at that horse that we have here for Guan Yu.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
He's bulky.
That is I mean, you cannot be a small horse and
Yeah, slow-mo
hold
that. I wanna
this
see it.
man. You
I
know?
wanna see
Yeah.
how chunks.
Pretty comedic if it did, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh.
Can I see
Does
his
he have,
face?
oh, he does have the tusks.
Oh, he
There
does
you
have
go.
horns.
It's horns. Yeah, it's horns, not
Oh.
tusks. I suppose. The armor detail here on both the horse and Guan Yu himself is really, really cool.
Looks awesome.
Yeah,
So nice.
that is really awesome. Again, this is your ranked reward here for Season 5. So hopefully you've been grinding so you can look this good when playing Guan Yu, and when he gets mad and has his passive all fully stacked, that fire above his head is really dope. Let's take a listen to the voice pack here for Gladiator Guan Yu.
Attack! Gank! You fight like you were born to it! Hurrah! Hurrah! Incredible! No man is my equal! You're so frail. There's only one way our battle would end. My favorite game in the Colosseum is always the lion fight. You could say it's the main event.
Okay.
Once, in the arena, I cut off both a fighter's arms and legs. In the end, he was disarmed and defeated.
Okay, so he's not as mean as I initially thought. This man just really, well, I mean, that joke was pretty
he's a
mean.
gladiator.
But he just
Gladiators
really
usually
likes to
mean.
fight.
Yeah, he's.
Does
They
he
like to
still have a
fight.
beard? I'm sorry, I missed that.
He does he have
Oh
a?
no, because
I
he has the
don't
mask
think so.
on.
I
He
don't
has the
know. I don't think we
helmet
can
on.
see.
Oh my god, he
No.
trimmed his beard.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh.
Whoa, his neck is so
Whoa.
thick.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
That's the girth
Yeah.
on that neck.
Okay, we can stay away
Did
from
you
that
see
word.
that
forever.
shit, dude?
Yeah.
was
Okay.
there.
Scarlet Judgment Nemesis. Let's move on as fast as humanly possible. Again, part of the battle pass that you'll receive in 6.1. This one, she let the hair grow out a little bit. The bangs are the ones covering her eyes this time
I
around.
thought no, it's the same as the other one.
Really? She has, I think she has one other skin where the hair is covering her eyes, but this one is just like, I don't know, it just really stuck out to me right away. But the red and black, certainly a good look
Yeah.
for Nemesis.
Yeah.
Ooh, that sword is sick. What is going on in there?
I don't know.
Is that like a,
I think it's a fuse.
she's got like a little power supply
Yeah.
in her sword.
Yeah.
I know it was on her last skin, but it probably stands out now because of the colors.
It's like orange
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That
It's a
is
nice
awesome.
touch.
Yeah, that it looks really, really good.
Yeah.
That is dope. All right, let's take a look at some of these effects here for Scarlet Judgment.
Oh, all right.
Nemesis.
Oh, the sound is really nice.
Yeah. Okay, so I see. This is you're right, because this is very similar to the black and blue one.
Yeah.
Right.
But this is just the different colors. But a lot of the detail, like I love that skin because of the noises and the effects as a part of it, but I never realized how much detail was really in the sword of that skin and that kind of stuff.
Right.
It really pops here
Yeah.
with this version.
Yeah, all these recolors are really cool. I think we're trying to find new ways to get more inventive with them and get more creative to give more visual impact. So I think this one came out great.
Right. Come on, Pon, you can do it. You kind of got there.
I believe in the pawn, dude.
You got it, Pon. Hey, that's what it looks like when you take
Nice.
damage off the retribution shield.
Yes.
Well done. You're the best, Pon. All right, let's take a look at the ultimate now. So remember that ultimate is dope on the other one.
Harder they fall.
Nice.
Cool on this one as well. Yeah, I just love, my main love of these skins is the dash. The dash is the best part, right? The little effects
impactful. Yeah.
they go on behind. So cool. I'm loving that. Again, this Scarlet Judgment Nemesis part of the Battle Pass reward.
God, Pon!
This is what I want to do every time I play Nemesis. Let's take a listen to the voice pack here for this skin.
Attack. Yeah, I'm pretty amazing. Gank. You don't disappoint. Woo! Wait! Whatever. You're not worth my time. Get ready because things are gonna get ugly. Except me, of course. I fight with style. If they're still standing, it's because I haven't knocked them out yet.
There you have it, Scarlet Judgment Nemesis. Next up on the list, Golden Touch, Baron Samedi.
So
this
fancy.
skin is for those of you who have been behaving out there on the battlegrounds. This skin looks awesome, and it's really just because I love Baron as he is. Like
Yeah.
I have a lot of trouble, even like the countdown Baron, the kind of nuclear one. I'm like, man, I just love base Baron so much. It's
Baron.
hard for me to go away
Yeah.
from it. Now I don't have to. I could just be looking awfully good with the white and gold this time around. Players that did not receive an account level suspension or ban and have played at least 50 games in Season 5 will receive this skin. So
Ooh.
hopefully you've been behaving. Otherwise,
That means I can get this skin?
well, Tina, have you? It would actually mildly surprise me if you haven't been banned. Not because you've been saying like BM things, but just like inappropriate things that you don't realize are inappropriate.
Well, I've been what do you call it? Ticketed about having the name Hi-Res because people think that it's fake.
Yeah, I get those as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the only one.
I think this skin was originally proposed when we were doing his recolors, and we decided that the other recolor was more appropriate, but we loved this one so much that we were like, we have to keep it.
Yeah.
Nice. We just got to reuse it a different time. All right.
Yeah, the white coffin.
So good, dude.
So
So
good.
cool.
This man is just full of style. There's
He's
no other word for
suave.
it. Yeah, I love it. Again, this is the skin that you will get as part of your
That jump gets me
not
every time.
getting banned this year or suspended. So don't be mean. That's the way. That's the way to get this one. Okay, I want to get into this next Poseidon skin as soon as humanly possible.
Yes,
because
please, let's do it.
I have been waiting for this. Vaporwave Poseidon. Tina, why are you so excited about this skin?
Well, the dinosaur.
I just
okay. So we were looking for abilities for him, and I was just like, I don't know, sitting at my desk and just kind of was brainstorming, and I really like Kung Fury, the movie, or that short, and I was like, dude, there's fucking T-Rexes with laser beams and shit in that thing. What if we like have the T-Rex like come out and just like shoot laser beams and shit and like laser everyone, you know?
Yeah.
So
I know.
So and they were like, yeah, dude, let's try it. And then this happened.
Dude, that is.
And then I got JDF, and then it sold. It just sealed the deal, dude.
Yeah. If you haven't heard, the Green Ranger himself voices this skin. And if it wasn't cool enough, look at it, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
The title
he's just
surge.
hovering all the time. Like, that's pretty cool.
That's automatically very cool. And he shoots the... Oh my... I love this skin.
The effects artist went so over the top on it, and it looks amazing. This is my favorite
I'm
skin
glad
this
they
patch.
did.
Yeah.
Hands down.
This is incredible. The effects are... I mean...
Wait, when it hits someone, does it do palm trees?
Yeah, well, when he shoots it
Dude.
off, yeah?
He shoots it off. It's palm trees.
It's sick.
And it goes into the sunset at the end. That is amazing. There's your whirlpool.
Yeah.
The vortex pulling you in.
So cool.
That is awesome. And I mean, we've done a lot of different styles of skins. This is definitely a very unique style the effects artist
Look
has
at
to go
him!
for. You can see the sunglasses. Okay, let's just...
Lasers.
Oh, wait. What does he do in the end?
Yo, he hits you. Yo, you just got crushed. And then hit you with the point. That is awesome.
He's slow-moing it for us. Oh, no, he's not. I'm just
No,
kidding.
that's slow-mo.
It's
too good.
Oh, it's kind of slow-mo, yeah.
That is amazing. See, the T-Rex does have a name.
Oh, Bon!
Jeez.
That is Neptune.
Yeah.
That is coming out and destroying your life.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Come on, please. They're going to be extinct.
Yeah. We only have so many Neptunes in that are ready. There's a lot of talking points I have here about this skin. A lot of background, if you will. So Poseidon is the code name for a hacker who hacked into the cyber world and is able to control the grindverse, or the gridverse. Gridverse. That's why his abilities are grid/wave-like, and the grid pattern is seen throughout his hoverboard, helmet, and shirt. So Poseidon is doing pretty well for himself here in the gridverse.
Yeah, Vivian did this, and she always has a great backstory in her head whenever she's doing the skin. And I had to be honest, like when we first got pitched this idea, I was nervous about like, can we make it different from the .exe skins? Is it going to be too close to like cosmic skins? And she the first round of iterations, she just knocked it out of the park, and she was like, here's how you do it. And I was like, oh, okay. Cool.
This is how you do it. Oh, okay.
So awesome. And being on this hoverboard, I mean, Poseidon normally doesn't walk, but he does touch the ground. Did that have a lot of changes to have to be made for animation side?
I have no idea.
That's a good question for
That's
animation.
a good animators?
I'd assume so, because it's very different than what it says, than what it normally looks like. Probably has to be different for everything. All right, let's take a listen to the voice pack here and the Green Ranger himself.
Yeah.
Whoa, baby. That was sweet. Attack! Gank! You rock. Yeah. I'm cool. Yeah. I'm cool. Ah, come on. You could do better than that, right? You know who's gonna win this race? Me. Wow, you're so slow. Well, I guess I mean physically, too. If you're still alive after this, I'll show you some of my signature tricks.
So awesome. Haha. And the good news is that it's out in the 5.25 update. You don't even have to wait until 6.1 in order to have Jason David Frank voice your dinosaur light show.
Sorry. Kong's gonna extinct them, dude.
So awesome. I love this skin so much. That's Vaporwave Poseidon. And then last but certainly not least, we're right around the corner for Merlin, everybody. Steamy Chibi Soul.
Oh,
I love this little dress that she's got on.
I know.
It's very cute. You know what? And you know what I feel like is difficult for Soul is that she's just like fire all the time,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
So it can be hard to make it easy to tell what's going on with the skin and even just differentiate them at all.
Yeah.
The chibi helps, but this one is very, very different than a lot of those other ones.
Remember when she first was concept, she's supposed to be wearing like shorts?
I wasn't here for that.
Oh.
But
No, for this
no.
skin.
Oh, for this one.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
she was first wearing shorts.
Right,
And
and
then
then
we're
we're-
like, let's put her in a dress.
Yeah, because it adds to that cutesy vibe.
Yeah, it does.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Wow, you barely see it whenever you're piloting
just
because
hair.
her hair
Yeah.
is so big. She just looks like a fireball floating around.
It does.
I love it. I actually think that's really cool. You're
It
just
is
like
really cute.
a little tiny fireball floating around, but that can also shoot other fireballs around.
She kind of looks like a tasty Cheeto.
Oh, I like the cutesy cartoony effects on this. They work really well. That's
Oh.
I love that. The cartoon effects looking good. Ooh, that little sun, that is awesome.
Nice.
She has it like spin in front of her as well, but also in the middle of the stellar burst. That's awesome. Ooh, her auto attacks change whenever she's at full passive as well. The spinning auto attacks, those are cool.
Oh, that's cool.
I love that. I love the sound.
Sounds like balloons popping.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, goodbye.
Oh, bye, Soul.
Oh, that's so good.
I love
Cute.
that.
Can't catch these.
Can't catch me.
There she goes.
That's so troll as
It
you're
is
getting
very
away.
troll.
Oh, that's gonna tilt me for sure.
Yes.
Watching a Soul get away with 1 HP with
And she's smiling at you, dude.
That's right. That is great. These chibi skins can be a challenge though a lot of the time, right? Because they're completely new proportions for
Right.
everything. I mean, normally heads aren't that large and limbs
Right.
that small.
They're usually a big rigging and animation overhaul. So
Yeah.
we
They're
try
very
and keep
costly.
it. Yeah, we keep it tame where we can. But
Right. Gotta make it work
Yep,
though here
exactly.
for Steamy Chibi Soul. Let's take a listen to her voice pack.
Attack! Great game! Gank! Yeah! You are brave! Ha-ha! Score! I like helping friends.
Oh.
Watch it! Don't burn yourself now. I enjoy it when jerks are kind enough to dress in flammable clothes. They call me H, because I turn asses to ashes.
wow.
Well done, Tina. I gotta give credit where it's due.
Aw,
That's well done. Is that the original voice actress?
It is. I just asked her to make it a little more like cheeky, like she's a little cheeky girl.
Yeah.
And cuter, so it is the same voice actress. Yes.
I like that. That is
Cute.
awesome. We got through them. All
We
10
did all
skins.
10 skins.
That means Merlin
Is
is coming
next.
up. We got a
Boy.
short lore video for you here as we get ready to reveal the 100th god added to Smite.
You may know the myths and legends of the great King Arthur. But what do you know of the hands that set those legends into motion? Are they those of a prophet, a demon, or perhaps just a remarkable man? Whichever he may be, the power he wields is not in question. The great wizard Merlin has woven his magics and cunning in service of great rulers, ushering victories in war and foretelling he who would come to rule all kings. Through a vision of clashing dragons, he foretold the son of Uther to be that great king. As the dragon comet blazed across the sky, Merlin took his place at Uther's side, naming him Pendragon, a name his son would make known to all the world. Standing against the marauding barbarian hordes from across the sea, Merlin remained steadfast at Uther's side until he was claimed in battle. But even from grim ends can hope spring anew. For Uther's son now ascends to the throne, Merlin's many and mysterious works culminating in the rise of the greatest king of all time.
It's all one book, and Merlin and Arthur together. It's the only way to do it. The 100th god coming to Smite, Merlin, is going to be awesome, and let's wait no longer. Joining me to reveal him are AJ and Clumsy, the mastermind behind Arthur. Chris still here from the skin section, but that's for a reason. He's not just hanging around and sitting
camping out.
So guys, when we were talking about doing King Arthur, I never heard, yeah, we're going to do King Arthur and we'll see who else. It's always we're doing King Arthur and Merlin. It was always those two together. Talk to me about why Merlin was so important to bring into this universe.
Well, we wanted to try something new, right? That's where it really started. Beginning of every new season, we do a new Pantheon. We do something a little different. This year, we wanted to make sure this new Pantheon really stood out from the rest, because we did a lot of Pantheons last year. That was our something new.
Yes.
Was not one new Pantheon, but 3, right?
Yeah, it was 3.
Yeah. So we did a bunch of stuff, and that was cool too. So we keep trying to build on our system here. And King Arthur and Merlin became part of this discussion. And I've talked about this in a lot of different.
I know.
Yes, that looks awesome, right? You can see here his full use of his magic. The art team did a phenomenal job with him. But Merlin is like, to me, it depends on, I guess, if you're more of a mage, like if you're more of a magic player, as far as
I am.
Yeah, we know we are. As far as your video gaming goes, or your fantasy games, or if you're more of a warrior physical player,
sure,
which one you identify with more.
Sure.
But King Arthur and Merlin together are the archetypal fantasy legends. Like they are the pinnacle of it, right?
That's what I was thinking as well. They're pretty much the quintessential pair, one being the warrior, one being the mage.
Right, and just so many games and literature and movies and everything includes these types of characters and reinterpreted in many different ways.
Right.
And we wanted our chance to reinterpret them.
So let's talk about our interpretation, because a lot of people were expecting Merlin to be old and frail and
right.
like
yeah.
No, ours is straight up badass. Like, why did we decide to go for this younger version of Merlin?
Well, there's some very interesting lore reasons behind it, which I like especially. But in his lore, Merlin's described as being advisors to many kings. In the more official source we've been citing for our Arthur and Merlin lore, he starts as advisor to King Vortigern, and that's where he discovers the 2 dragon prophecies. And discovers the dragons, prophesizes Arthur. Then he goes on to working with Uther Pendragon, who Merlin actually gives the name Pendragon to. He wasn't known as a Pendragon until he met Merlin, and then finally on to working with Arthur. And for all we know, there was many other rulers before that Merlin always was there to make sure that they ruled fairly and to keep them safe in times of war and struggle.
Sure.
So the way we kind of see Merlin is as an ageless being, right? And as we nodded into the lore as well, he's rumored to be part demon. People don't exactly know where his magic comes from, or what he is, or why he's here, or why he's so powerful or special.
Sure.
And that mystery is something we wanted to play with. So we kind of felt like our Merlin would be powerful enough to kind of transcend age. And although he could be like many of our deities that might be eternal,
right,
but then look like children,
yes,
or etc., or whatever Cupid is.
Whatever that
whatever
is.
Abomination. An abomination.
Yeah, whatever.
You can be eternal and still look like a young abomination, or you can be eternal and look like a beautiful middle-aged man.
That's right. And Merlin certainly fits that description. Let's talk a little bit about the magic, because you mentioned it, Clumsy. All 3 magic stances there on the card art.
Yeah.
He's got 3 of them.
He's got 3.5, actually.
Okay.
We're going to go into that a little bit. He uses arcane, fire, ice, and a little bit of lightning, too.
Ooh, you got my attention.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we've talked about
that. He's got 3 stances, but he does have a 4th element thrown
but he has
in there.
4 elements. That's
nice.
What? Dude, I have no idea about this. To be fair, I have actually played a good amount of Merlin in comparison to other gods in the past. So I've been very excited about this. I won't be asking as many noob questions and more like Yo, remember this cool thing that I did that one time in playtests?
You've been playing with a lot of beautiful temp effects, which got the gameplay across. When you see Chris's final effects, you're going to really see what Merlin looks like, and it's awesome.
Nice. I can't wait. Do we have to wait any longer? Can we like go?
I think we can go look at him,
pretty
right?
much in there. We can go inside, look at the game, talk a little about the gameplay hooks and stuff.
All right, cool. Yeah, we're loading in for Merlin. So let's talk a little bit more about what these stances do.
So as I mentioned earlier, we've got 3 different stances. Merlin is a stance switcher, but the way he goes between those stances is a little bit differently, right? We talked about this in the closer look in the last time, I think, as well, is that he actually starts at a level 1 with a rank 0 version of his ultimate elemental mastery, and he starts as an arcane wizard, and then he can cycle between arcane to fire to ice, and then back to arcane. Alternatively, while he's using his ultimate, he can skip a stance. So he can go, for example, from arcane straight to ice, or fire straight to arcane.
It requires 2 button inputs to do this. You have to press 4 and then 1, 2, or 3 to choose the stance you want to go to.
Gotcha.
And once you level up your ultimate, and so it's at rank 1, you then get access to an empowered version where he actually explodes in the energy of his current stance and then implodes very quickly into the energy of the stance he's going to be in.
And that does effects and damage as it goes out.
It does damage on the way out and on the way in. The exact same damage, and then the effect is different depending on what stance he is. So, for example, if he's an arcane stance, he'll knock up enemies on the way out, and then he'll burn enemies on the way in if he's going into fire.
His stance
you
change
supposed to say that until we got in game, and they were really excited about
has
it.
effects.
No, we talked about that a little bit last time, but before we go in and actually talk about the rest of his abilities, I think there were some very important design decisions we made when coming to Merlin and a triple stance switcher that I wanted to get across, right at the beginning of this all.
Sure.
Because he's a triple stance switcher. He's got a lot of different abilities.
Sure does.
Right.
But with that in mind, you wanted to make sure that we assessed what needed to be complicated about him, what needed to be simple about him, and kind of mix those two together. So we didn't just make Merlin complex for the sake of complexity, just go all out on every single ability, because we wanted him to have, a medium to high skill floor, because that essentially is a triple stance switcher.
It's going to be high no matter. It's going to
exactly. But he will still have a very high skill ceiling, and we didn't feel it necessary to push that ceiling even further for just the sake of it.
Yes, I will say in my somewhat limited experience, I feel like I could just press all my buttons and do some stuff, but every fight I was like, oh, if I would have stance switched earlier into that stance and then gotten my cooldowns up to use that stance later on, I would have been way better. There were a million options available to me, and it was awesome.
I can already foresee some people saying, "Oh, for his movement ability," which we're about to go into the game soon. For his movement ability, we kept it the same for all 3 stances, and that was a very important design decision. I can already see some people, maybe criticizing that. Oh, it could have been different for every single one, but we thought that was actually very key to who Merlin is.
Well, we're trying to avoid bloat,
exactly,
and we're trying to add a consistency to his kit, whereas those are going to be shared on a cooldown, which also keeps his movement at a reasonable level of counterplay.
Right.
Because if he could move, stance switch, move again, which we did test, which is why these guys are laughing. We played like that for a little while, and it was ridiculous.
I didn't play like that. And,
no, it was broken. It was OP.
Something else.
So there's a lot of reasons behind that, and you'll see that although his stances are different, they have some parallels to them and kind of like similar targeting as we often do for stance changes. You have generally forward projectiles for his ability 1 and ranged AoEs for his ability 2, but they do very different things. But that's for intuitive gameplay, and we felt success from that on former stance changers.
Absolutely.
And also a key thing about him was action. We didn't want Merlin players to be making these out of combat decisions where they're changing their stance. And that was kind of where some of the early brainstorming from Merlin came up with, like, let's give him a lot of abilities and he can like pick them and choose them. But then we're like, no, then you're just like sitting in base thinking all the time and not fighting.
Yes.
So we designed most of his kit to work really well in combat, and that's why he's the first character, correct me if I'm wrong, that their stance change is actually a damaging ultimate ability as well.
That is the first.
So it directly incentivizes you to use this ultimate in a risky and high payoff way.
And you will. Trust me. Let's get in game and take a look at Merlin. I know you guys are excited. I am as well. Again, the card art for him as we get ready to go. Do you want to start with the 3 since that's the only one?
So we're going to be
going across.
Oh, look at him there.
That is.
We can call some attention to some things here. You can see that Merlin's outfit, normal stance changers, some of them will change.
Right.
What about them will change, right? RTO turns into a bear. Merlin's outfit's going to stay the same, but what you're going to see is the glowing effects on his hands are going to change to different types of magic. And that's going to change color, as well as that rune orb he's holding. That's going to change to the different type of magic you're in. So you can easily, at a glance, spot what stance Merlin is in.
Very important, always, in those sorts of instances. There's some lightning. I like what I'm seeing. Okay, but we'll go into the stance switching in a minute.
Right.
I want to make sure that we start somewhere where people are going to... We're gonna come at you hard and fast.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go
just
through
like
this.
Merlin will.
That's right.
So this first thing is immediately gonna get some attention right away. His movement ability, which we've talked about very quickly, is an instant teleport blink.
It is called Flicker.
It is called Flicker.
Yeah, this
Not
is combat
blinks
blink, ladies and gentlemen.
Sure, it is in a much shorter range.
Yeah, very short range.
Very, very much shorter. You cannot. I don't think you can get over a single wall in the entire Conquest map, right?
Not in Conquest, but it turns out you can in Arena. So
you can cut some
that'd be
corners.
Great.
Sure.
But it is very fast, and actually it does leave a trail behind, so that if you're following a Merlin and he flickers away, you'll instantly be able to know which direction he went.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
We thought that would be incredibly important to keep this ability, in a pretty balanced state. So what's actually really interesting is that during our playtest, Flicker, an instant teleport is extremely powerful, but we've also balanced it with a pretty healthy cooldown. And all that it really does is just this movement ability. It doesn't do anything else. And as AJ alluded to earlier, once you change stances, the cooldown actually persists through stance changes, which is only true for his 3 and his 4.
Okay, so we're starting off with the combat blink.
We're starting off with the very short range combat blink.
Let's see where else we can go with this kit. Let's start with the passive, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we can go right into the passive. So Pawn's already doing it here. Every time Merlin uses an ability, his basic attacks get empowered with lightning, his 4th element. And that basically just does an extra proc of a little bit more ability damage, plus some scaling too.
Okay, so he's got built-in mini poly.
He's got built-in mini poly that stacks 3 times and has a short duration. If you miss, just like with Polynomicon, you'll just miss that proc.
Gotcha. So now this will incentivize you. You got a lot of buttons to press, but don't forget to throw your auto attacks.
Yeah, weave in some basic attacks while in the middle of your ability combos.
And if you blink Flicker here 3 times, and then you could fire 3 projectiles.
So you stack up to 3.
There it is.
And just to make one other side note, notice here that Merlin, his ability icons are in a temp state still.
Yes, yeah, of course.
As you can see from this god that has a lot of abilities, he has a lot of icons.
Yes.
So they're taking us a little longer to get them all finished. So
I've played so much on this sort of setup, I didn't even think of that. Like,
these icons are really intuitive and fantastic for testing and temp. And as temps, they're really helpful.
The UI icons are slightly missing. We also will have a passive meter, which will be indicating his current stance as well as the 2 other stances, and that's that will be in very soon during PTS. And I believe there's a couple of sound effects and stuff that are still getting their way in.
Awesome. Okay, let's get into it then. Let's start with ability 1, and I say, do we want to go through?
No, we got to do the ultimate first.
So using the ultimate is important, which is Elemental Mastery. So as you can see, he has no points into it, but he still has access to it. So if Pawn goes ahead and fires Elemental Mastery, you'll be able to see the UI icons change at the bottom.
Holy, that's so cool.
Is that
the effects
I'm looking at
and the animation turned out so well.
But the effects and the animation are beautiful.
And he gets different auto attacks.
He gets different auto attacks. They all do the same thing, but FX wise, they're very different. So he's got
he gets different flickers.
Yep, different flickers. So the FX wise, different color.
Oh my god, this character is so much cooler.
We haven't even really broken the ice about this guy yet.
I know.
So in the middle of stance switching, you'll be able to see his 1, 2, 3, his abilities. You can actually switch, like we were talking about earlier. So right now, Pawn's in ice, and he's going to go straight to fire because he's swapping in the middle of the transformation.
Gotcha.
So there's fail safe here. So if you just fire it, it will automatically rotate to the next stance in the queue.
Right.
But if you do use the timing window to choose it, it's just during that time where he's channeling the first stance before the second one appears, obviously, because you choose the second one.
Yes.
So you can just press 4 and it'll happen on its own, or you can press 4-1 or 4-2 or 4-3 to specifically turn to the one you want.
You don't have an eternity here, but I can say from playing with this character a decent amount that it feels very natural once you get into it.
It'll definitely take some getting used to to get smooth, but once you get there, it'll be more than enough time.
Yeah.
Chris, anything you want to call attention to on this effects as we switch ultimates?
No, just that. No, not now. Sorry.
Not yet.
Well, how about now?
There we go.
So now that Pawn has put some points into his abilities, you can see that every time that he uses this ultimate, that vortex goes out away from him and then collapses in very quickly. And you were talking about this
did you break
earlier.
him?
Clumsy.
We possibly broke him because right now
broke him.
He's exploding and imploding with the same coloration, but the implosion should definitely be of the stance you're going to be going to.
Classic.
So that's something
as when we do
broke
things
by
on
moving
infinite
it.
0 cooldown.
That's
you
right.
notice we can break things from time to time.
It happens. That's right. Pawn, I just want to let you know you're trying your best out
There
there.
we go.
That's working.
Okay,
again.
so it was definitely cooldown related.
So you ice and then arcane comes in.
Perfect.
Cool.
And then arcane out and then fire comes in.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay,
And again,
so,
if you swap stances in the middle of that, it's going to break that chain. So, Pawn right there just did ice outwards or fire outwards, and then, you can do arcane inwards.
Right.
For the implosion.
You cannot just fire it and stay in the same stance.
Yeah,
you
correct.
must switch.
You
So
must
there's really only 2 choices, not 3 when you fire it. But
So you mentioned that arcane on the out and in will knock up.
Exactly. If you hit anyone in the arcane stance, either explosion or implosion, it'll do a knock up as well as the damage. The fire will do a burn, and the ice will do a slow.
Okay, so you can choose what's best for your situation. Maybe
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you don't want to go to the stance because of the ability, but sometimes you might actually want that extra effect.
the arcane into ice, the knock up slow is really good.
Yes.
I love doing the arcane. I like doing it either way, arcane and approach, and then switch to ice or fire to finish them off.
Okay, which stance we want to start with?
All right, we're definitely going to start with the one you start the game off generally,
Arcane.
with arcane.
Okay, so let's talk about his 1 in this stance.
So, Merlin's ability 1 is called Eclipse, and it's basically, as you can see with the targeter, it's a growing orb. The farther you shoot it, or the farther you aim, the larger it grows in size.
Okay.
So go ahead and miss someone with it now, Pawn, so we can just go ahead and see what it looks like. So it's a projectile that goes outwards,
Man,
and
cool.
it's a sweet looking.
Well, can I just tell you guys, playing these characters early is really fun, but playing them, like getting to see them with their actual ability, what they're supposed to look like instead of the giant blue disc that just like slowly went at them is so much cooler.
Yeah.
So you can hit someone with that, and when you do, the enemies are marked, and there's a longer radius where they will be taking continuous ticking damage, and the enemy needs to move out of that radius, and then if they go back inside the radius without hitting the eclipse, they won't take any more damage. They have to be re-hit again by the eclipse.
Okay, but so there is a radius to that, and they take continuous damage in there.
Exactly.
But they have to be hit by the initial cast of the ability, right? So if you just walk into it later on, it won't start tick damaging you.
Exactly.
And you can see there we've got that outer radius
if
indicator.
you do walk into it later on, as long as you get hit by it at any point.
You've got to get hit
Right,
by
but
the
you
center.
can't just like walk semi near it, like in this little area where Pawn is right now and get hit by the tick damage.
No.
And you'll see that outer radius indicator is only there when it's doing something. So when he shot it and went too far past the god, so that it's back out of the range again, it goes away.
It disappears.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that lets you clear. So
that is really cool. Okay, so what's the 2 in this instance?
Yep. So the Arcane 2 is called Vortex. After a short delay, it's going to do damage and pull all enemies towards the center. So we'll see that right now.
Damn, that looks cool.
And so you can already tell what Merlin's arcane combo is going to be. You want to throw out that Eclipse or Vortex first and, get them all into
I believe the timing works out well where you want to throw the Vortex first and then pull them back into throw the Eclipse first and then pull them Vortex them back into the Eclipse when they're trying to escape that extra hit.
Yes, and I will tell you guys that this is something that I was like, oh boy, this is gonna be nuts, and it is nuts, but it's harder to hit than it looks.
It is definitely harder to hit. That warm-up time and the radius of the circle are a good combo of where, if you hit someone and they're not really paying attention, they will get hit by that combo. But if they're just walking away, I think if you even try and hit like the Odin bot in jungle practice that's just walking, you may not actually get him.
No, you have to lead your target with the 2 at all times.
Yeah.
They have enough time to walk from the center out of it before it actually detonates. So we'll reward those players who are very accurate with their predictions on where everyone is going to be.
And the Vortex, it does all of its damage at the end of the warm-up NCC. It's all an instant tick, so there's no other persistent effects going on here. It's just an instant damage in CC at the detonation time.
We tried to make it not look too scary until the end when it explodes.
Right.
So hopefully that conveys pretty well.
Yeah, I was gonna say before we move on to the next stance, was there any effects, things we wanted to mention in Arcane?
No, I just really like the black hole.
Yeah, dude.
The center, look up at the close center of the black hole. It's got this like distortion effect around the outside.
And it's actually the distortion effect that shoots the enemy gods whenever they're in there.
That's what the projectiles are coming out of.
Projectiles coming out of the black hole itself.
It's alive.
If you see the mark on the enemies, you can see there's like that arcane symbol, the hands, that gets marked.
And they just like smack you up a little bit. Yep. Right there.
All right, let's go ahead and use that Elemental Mastery Ultimate and hit the fire stance. All right,
Man, that is so cool.
Okay, it looks so sick.
So like AJ was talking about earlier, all of his, first abilities, they have that same theme. They're an outward kind of damage, and that was definitely part of the design goal. All the ability 2s are some sort of deployable, and again, that wasn't just for simplicity's sake, but that's generally to get the feeling of his whole kit to be cohesive. So his ability 1, when Paul fires this out, this is Radiate. Very different. It's going to be a channeling beam of fire that when it hits an enemy, also it applies to dots them.
Okay. So
potentially his most high damaging ability.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so that's the other thing. Each one of the stances have different damage, have mostly the same, but a little bit of different cooldown, but each one has their own purpose, right? Arcane is medium to high damage with a little bit of utility. Fire is almost no utility, or no CC, better said, but the highest damage and the shortest range as well. Arcane is a pretty medium and healthy range. Fire is short range. I think that's 45 units, which is even smaller than a basic attack.
Yeah. It is not long, but it hits like a truck.
It hits really hard. The scaling can get pretty high, and when you couple it with his second ability, Dragonfire.
Oh, I've been excited about this one. So this is something. Oh, those cool little dragons. That's so cool. They come out of the ground.
Was it the last time you saw it when it had like the Ganesh pillars?
Yeah, they were huge pillars.
They were Ganesh pillars shooting fire.
What is happening? So the combo here is if you can get someone caught in that middle section and then start flamethrowing them with the one. I mean, people melt.
So
literally,
the thing to be aware of is that there's definitely a section in the middle where the two cones overlap. For Dragonfire, we didn't want to just go with, if you're in the middle, you get to take double the damage because we thought the variance on that would be pretty high. But what we did as well, which helps synergize with his kit and for the team fights, is that if you're caught in the middle, you actually get a protection shred.
Okay.
So you can get hit by a protection shred that stacks a few times and allowing him to do even more damage in his fire stance.
Complements his damage stance well, right?
Yes, very, very well.
I just wanted to bring a little attention here to the dragons, where obviously kind of Arthurian legend has a lot of dragon inferences in it. So Merlin does have, and I called some attention to this in the blog post, he has some subtle dragon imagery in his clothing and in his design, as well as we wanted an ability, because he was the prophet who discovered dragons really in lore. So he can kind of control this dragon fire magic.
Two dragons firing at each other. Right. What's more thematic?
If you look closely at his robes, his armor, he's got clasps that look like teeth and claws, and he's got materials that look like a little bit of wings and scales. So there's a lot of subtle like dragon mage imagery in his design.
So cool.
Spawn's showing you some ability combos you can get off, but let's move to his third stance, because I know everyone wants to see everything together. So we've got his frost or ice stance coming up.
He's using to pull them apart perfectly.
Yep. Yeah.
Well done, Pon.
That Pon's probably pretty good at this game.
Yeah.
So we come to his final stance.
Yes.
Which is his frost stance. And in this, we wanted to keep things, a little bit more simple. I definitely wanted the feeling of Merlin to feel like 3 different mages.
Yes.
Especially maybe, a quintessential mage for the ice stance. So his first ability is a simple Frostbolt. Very short cooldown. Frost is his highest range stance. So I think this goes to 70 units. And when you hit an enemy, you do an explosion AoE. If you don't hit anyone, you don't get that AoE.
Okay, does this... I don't remember if this explodes off minions or only
This does also explode on minions.
Okay, it also stops on hit.
That's right.
It stops on first hit. It doesn't pierce at all.
Okay, so this is not going to be a great wave clear tool necessarily for you, but if you've noticed through the other 2 stances, he does lack range for the most part in Arcane and in Fire. Frost is definitely the only stance where you can easily poke without a whole lot of
Arcane
fear.
seems to be a safest lane clear because you've got a mid-range, so you can clear safely without taking too much damage from your opponent. Fire is definitely risky. And Frost, you might be able to do a little bit more poke or something, but you might struggle to clear the wave.
Yep. One of the other things as well, because we wanted to add a little bit of more of that magey RPG feel, is that actually if you hit an enemy while they're slowed, you do extra damage with Frostbolt. So that means slow, not from Merlin's kit, but from anyone on your team, right?
Oh, cool. Okay.
But that's coming up with his second ability, which is a Blizzard. So after a time to delay, a blizzard starts raining down from the area, doing so cool, damage every tick, and as well as stacking up a slow. So this is actually kind of a different type of slowing field. I don't think we have a slowing field that stacks up the intensity of the slow as the enemy gets hit. So it's a 10% slow.
The longer you remain.
Yeah, it's an 8% slow, and it stacks 5 times. So if you get hit 5 times,
Chernobog does that as well, actually.
Sure, each one of his basic attacks.
True.
Yeah,
true,
absolutely.
True.
So that
true.
Clumsy
You got me with my own god.
Your own god.
That's right.
But we didn't want it to be like an instant 30% slow. We wanted this feeling of like a ramping up slow.
Sure. Oh, look at that. It's spawned the enemy.
Yep. And as we mentioned earlier, if you get hit by a slow, your Frostbolt does more damage.
Okay. So
or you currently have a slow on you, right?
These combos do pretty well together for the 2.
This stance is really good when you're in those like Fire Giant and Gold Fury kind of standoffs and you're trying to get some poke damage across or get a little bit of CC in, whereas a lot of the Arcane will be avoidable at that distance, and Fire especially. So it's a good kind of stance to get started on, and then as soon as people are getting low is when you can go aggressive, flicker in and follow up with another stance.
I'm being told to ask you, Clumsy, what the bot shoot number is.
For which one?
For Blizzard.
For Blizzard, I believe it's 27 or 28.
Oh yeah, because normally we just do bot shoot. It's just the number.
There you go.
Hey, nice.
You can tell I've been testing that a lot. So you can see the slowest stacking up on.
Okay.
So usually you just bot shoot 2 through 5.
Yeah, but we had to
now
give him
it's
a lot
27.
He doesn't have that many abilities. They just had the programming worked. But
That's right.
It comes had to remember all these random commands to get there.
Frost was the one that I definitely had to play around with the most, so I remember that one definitely on the top of my head.
But you'll see that clear red enemy coloring on all of his effects.
Yeah, that's good.
In all of his stances.
So I will say that there were lots of different iterations. Initially for Merlin, you couldn't choose your stance when
At the
stance
very
switching.
beginning of his development.
And that is one of my favorite adjustments that was made during this development process. What is how much better and more fluid it feels to be able to. You feel like you have true command of everything.
Well, really, what we needed to do was find that timing window that made sense and find an animation and all that. It was something we were open to, but it had a lot more complexities than it seems. You know, common thing, suggestion and a playtester from community, things like that. We have to think about all of those extra details, and Clumsy was able to find a really good combination of things that made this intuitive, but then still safe. So the fact that you can just press 4 and it does it on its own, and you don't really have to worry about it. But then if you're good enough, you can add that extra bit of control. That is perfect. You know, that's the type of thing we like to do in our God designs.
Now, you won't be able to do all these nasty things that Pon is showing us because there is a cooldown on the stance.
There's a cooldown on all of his abilities for sure.
Right.
And his stance switching, so his elemental mastery, his ultimate, does have a cooldown of around 22 seconds. I can't remember the exact number, but it's around 24 to 22 seconds. Actually, it should be on here, right?
Wait, I was gonna say,
I'll put it down
on
here.
paper?
We've changed it quite a bit.
Yeah, there it is. So it starts at 28, scales down
seconds,
to 20.
but it scales down pretty low to 20, and then with 40% cooldown reduction. And honestly, here's a tip here for all you Merlin players: Chronos Pendant is fantastic on him.
Yeah,
that is
cooldown
going
is
to go
good on
down
him.
to maybe 10 seconds or so.
I wish that we would have had the speed elixir during playtesting because I felt like I needed all 6 item slots because I wanted cooldown. I wanted Spear of the Magus. Gem of Isolation is phenomenal on him.
Absolutely.
Because he has so many tick abilities.
And he does have to get close range, so having a little bit of HP can help a lot.
The fire stance with Gem is just, it's disgusting what you can do to people.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of my favorite things about the playtest so far, I think all of them, because we've done quite a bit with Merlin, is that everyone kind of says they have their own favorite stance, right? There'll be someone that's like, oh, Arcane is trash and I really love fire, but then someone's like, what are you talking about? Arcane is my favorite. I do the most damage. I was like, what do you mean? Ice is where I'm poking and I'm doing great in team fights.
I do remember there was I think it was me and you, Aggro. There was a playtest where I just didn't touch Ice the whole match. And then you played right after me and you were like, dude, Ice is so OP. And I was like, what? What are you doing?
It's because all the other abilities just like, because the first few times we played him, the Frostbolt in particular was about the same range as an auto attack.
Right.
And so then we switched it to this long range ability, and I was like, oh my god, that feels so good.
Oh, I see.
Pon showing it off right here with 40% cooldown reduction. His ultimate is 11 seconds, but when that Chronos Pendant is ticking, twice, it's technically going to be around 9 seconds.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And
So you can't spam it.
No, but you can do, I mean, you can do a lot. You got a lot of buttons to press, but he's definitely punishable.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that's been the other very interesting thing. An instant teleport blink for his flicker is one of the strongest movement abilities in the game, but because of its cooldown and because of its range and because of the visual portrayal, it also makes him extremely immobile when someone gets on top of him and can manage to keep up with that flicker.
Oh, it's just like, you know, we call it all the time, Agni dashed in.
Right.
You dive on him.
Right.
And Merlin is the same way. If you see a flicker come out too early, you can punish it really hard. And many junglers, assassins will be able to just run up to him.
It's really not that, you know, everyone, myself included, I heard, oh, his 3's a combat blink, and I was like, what's up? Like, we can't do that. But it's in practice, it's very, very strong, of course, but it's really not that much better than, say, Discordia 3.
Sure.
I mean, a little bit longer range, but not by much.
And it has no additional effects.
Right.
Either.
In Discordia 3, you get to sit in the cloud. It's just an it's a disjoint, right? It's an iframe opportunity.
It is very good for disorienting your opponents and for juking things. It's less good for just long range travel.
But I mean, if you're gonna make that play, you know, you poke out that opponent, you flicker,
so
you blow up with your elemental mastery into your new stance, and you just devastate an enemy, and then you get ganked. But it's
and
fine,
then you get insta-kill.
because you styled on the enemy.
But man,
it's all about the flex.
It's all about the flex.
That's right. Chris, whenever they were like, okay, we've got to have effects for 3 different stances, and oh, don't forget lightning on his auto attacks, and make sure he looks cool all the time too. Like, were you just like, are you guys kidding me? What's going on?
Yeah, it felt real bad. You know, like the first god you're working on, they're like, oh, we want 3 stances.
Yeah, that's
you're
right.
Like,
this is your first god, right, Chris?
Let's not. But we did. You know,
he's
but we
done
did.
lots and lots of skin work for us, obviously, which is
That's right.
Yeah.
And he's very talented. These effects all turn out great. I love how the lightning adds itself to any of the basic attacks.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Obviously, ice is the closest in coloration, but you can see it on all of the basic attacks. You can add the lightning effect. It was additive, so we don't swap it. So you still see the base magic, but infused with that electricity.
I think my Fire is probably one of my favorite ones where you see the fire basic attack
the
with lightning encircling it.
Volcanic lightning feel again, clumsy. Another one of your guys.
I love the elements, dude. I love the elements.
What can I say?
So, you know,
I don't know what god you're working on next, but I've got my eye out. Stacking slow and some fire lightning going on.
The thing with Merlin was he, as the master of magic, had so many ways we could interpret his magic. You know, we had all these different things. We had these different ideas. A lot of like prophecy as well, but those are a little harder to convey into abilities.
Boy, that's a lot of numbers.
So really, we wanted to just go all in on the fantasy feel of him.
Right.
And just make sure that when you saw this mage, you were like, okay, this is the archmage. You know, this is the grand wizard. This is the leader of the mages guild.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's
the
why
master wizard, I believe, is his
when we were
title.
designing some of his abilities, you know, for ice especially, as well as, I mean, for his blink, I thought, you know, what would a mage do? Not only in games and lore, just like everything that a player would expect. Like, okay, I want a frostbolt, I want a blizzard, because that's what he would do when he's in ice stance, no matter what.
Right.
I want him to blink because that's what we think a mage would do. You know, that lovely teleport.
So cool. It is so
His
cool.
fire stance, obviously, you know, a beam of fire is pretty sick.
Oh man, I've been waiting so long to play this god against other people and just like play it whenever I wanted instead of waiting for you guys to invite us over for a play test, and I'm so excited. I can't tell you how
I might have a new main besides Goobus.
Yeah, this.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's a big maybe. That's a big maybe.
You saw that skin earlier.
Yeah, that Anubis skin is awesome. All right, let's take a listen to the voice pack here for Merlin.
How exuberant! Attack! Gank! Cool! You are delightful. Am I not just magnificent? You want to fight? I have already seen the outcome, and it does not go in your favor.
Oh yeah.
He has built-in global emotes into his taunt.
No way.
And if you change stances, it's different.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, that's insane.
Prepare yourself, villain. I will not hold back.
Give him a little thumbs up, then thumbs down.
I love it.
Across my path. The heat, the chill.
And as you can see, he's just a little cheeky as well.
Yeah.
Anything I do would seem to be magic. Heightened attunement to more than 3 schools of magic is impossible. Impossible, I say.
So as you can see, as if you're eternal and one of the wisest beings and master of all magic, you might get a little overconfident in yourself. Maybe a little sarcastic.
If I could do a little 360 floating flip and have fire and ice explode from me, none of you would want to hang out with me. I would just be insufferable. Absolutely.
So
that is awesome. We also do have the recolor for him as well, I believe.
Masteries as well.
Of it. Ooh, is that the mastery right there?
This is mastery card art, I believe.
Okay. I love that. The blue and
he's
gold.
He's in purple, bright purple robes, I believe, for his recolor.
Okay.
Which I don't think is. I don't think we're going to show that today. Maybe we'll show in game.
Yeah.
We still have a long PTS session, so we're still finishing up some card arts.
That's right. When do you know the name of the recolor?
Arcane Advisor, I believe.
Yes.
Arcane Advisor. Pon. Everyone's contributing here to get everything ready to go. We do have it in game. Great.
Oh wait, yeah, this recolor is sick. I love
Great
this.
work.
I mean, all of his recolors that we had in the early.
There we go. Look at
him.
Holy, that's so cool.
He's a blonde now.
Dude,
he's
that
got
purple
purple
robe is looking real fresh. And you know, I know I was talking to you guys a while ago about his development and how he's going to look. And the way that we were going to convey that the stance that he was in, it's like, oh, well, we can't make it just be the clothes, or else the clothes are going to be changing colors all the time, and that's very difficult for us. I think the arms is definitely a pretty clear way to make it work.
It turned out amazingly. We had a lot of discussion, a lot of brainstorming, but the modeling and effects team worked together here to get this overlay that really feels like he's just, overflowing with magic, and it conveys important gameplay information, so win-win.
Yeah. Man, he's looking good in purple too. He does all the same stuff, but it's still cool every time I see it.
I think I'll be rocking Merlin recolor personally when I'm playing.
Yeah, me too. I think that purple is just too nice.
I'm a big fan of purple.
Yeah, purple definitely underrated color.
MMOs, I dye my mages purple.
Yeah, it's a good mage color, especially when you get to do stuff like this with it. Oh man, that is so sick. What else? What PTS? Any estimation on when we'll be able to get our hands on Merlin?
Oh man,
I think that's meant
it should be tonight. Yeah, we want to get it up as soon as possible. We need that feedback. We need that testing. Season 6, a lot of big stuff.
Exactly. Right.
If you do get on PTS tonight, keep in mind that there are some, we know unfinished things, and this is not just on Merlin, but on all sorts of places in the game, because we have a longer PTS cycle. So we'll be updating that daily going forward the rest of the week.
Cool.
But please go ahead and report any bugs you can find.
We'll be looking for them, of course.
Hopefully it'll be up tonight.
Twitter is about to go. Clumsy, I gotta say, great work, man. I'm so excited.
The whole
about this
team
character.
definitely came together, and I'm super excited for Merlin. Got 100.
God,
right?
100.
God
We
100.
made it.
Finally
We
got
got
there.
there.
We made it.
Triple digits, baby.
And,
we need the 100 emoji glasses or something like that for me right now.
Season 6 is going to be awesome.
It's going to be great. Again, PTS hopefully up tonight, but certainly lots of iterations on that. Make sure you give us your feedback there. All of our official social channels is a great way to do that. We hope you enjoyed it. 6.1 coming to you very, very soon. Thanks for watching. You can go ahead and peach it.
You still